And Young Buzz, welcome back to the channel where we talk about everything buzzing in the K-pop world, whether it's sweet, spicy, or somewhere in between. Today's story had fans scratching their heads and flooding comment sections with concern, confusion, and a whole lot of opinions. We're talking about BABYMONSTER's Asa and the viral moment from her recent appearance on Running Man that stirred up a surprising amount of debate online. So, here's what went down. Asa and Ayeon, two members of BABYMONSTER, were guests on a recent episode of Running Man. During the show, they were chatting casually about their age and experiences when Asa made a pretty bold statement. She said, "It has been 6 years since I came to Korea. I only graduated from kindergarten. I am a kindergarten graduate." Naturally, that quote instantly blew up online. A lot of netizens were shocked. Some were concerned, and others started deep conversations about the sacrifices young idols make for their dreams. For many, Asa's words felt like a harsh wake-up call. Dropping out of school entirely to train for idol life? That's a big deal, and it hit differently coming from someone so young. Now, let's pause and really think about that for a second. The idol world is no joke. We know trainees often start as kids, leave their hometowns, sometimes even their countries, to chase this dream. And in Asa's case, she left Japan when she was still in elementary school to move to Korea and become a trainee. That alone is a major life change. But to say she only graduated from kindergarten? That made a lot of fans worried about her education, mental health, and whether she was being pushed too hard too soon. Social media exploded with people questioning if the industry has gone too far. Are we normalizing kids skipping their education for fame? Is that okay? Or is Asa's situation unique and maybe even misunderstood? Well, Asa herself decided to clear the air. After the episode aired and the discussion got intense, she made a post directed to fans. She explained that the kindergarten graduate comment wasn't supposed to be taken literally. It was a joke. She said that she started chasing her dream of being an artist during elementary school, and because her life was split between school and training, it felt like kindergarten was the only time she fully attended school. It was meant to be funny, but she admitted that the way she said it and how short the moment was made it confusing. That's a really mature response, honestly. She took accountability, saying she's still inexperienced and learning how to express self better. Which is true. Asa's still just a teenager figuring things out under a spotlight that most adults couldn't handle. But here's the thing. Even with her clarification, fans weren't fully convinced. Why? Because she didn't directly say if she's continuing her education or not. And that's when fans did what fans do best, started digging. They found an old interview from 2024 with CNN Brazil, where Asa mentioned she started dance school in her freshman year of high school. Not only that, but in the same Running Man episode that caused all this drama, Asa actually said she's a high school student now. She even made a light joke about being older than the usual high schoolers. So, what really happened here? It seems like Asa made a throwaway comment that sounded shocking, especially out of context, and it spread like wildfire before people could get the full picture. She is attending school, even if it's through a non-traditional path, which honestly isn't that uncommon in the entertainment industry. But because she didn't explain it clearly at first, and the moment went viral, it spiraled into this whole debate about child idols and education. This situation brings up a lot of bigger questions though. Should agencies do more to help their idols communicate clearly, especially when they're still young? Should variety shows be more careful about editing moments that might cause confusion or controversy? And are we, as fans, sometimes too quick to panic before understanding the full story? Personally, I think this is one of those cases where the idol didn't do anything wrong, but the delivery of the message needed a little more care. Asa's still new to this level of fame, and being on a big platform like Running Man means everything you say gets picked apart. But at the same time, it's also up to us as viewers and fans to take a beat before we jump to conclusions. So, what do you think about Asa's kindergarten graduate moment? Was it just a harmless joke gone wrong? Or does it reveal something deeper about how we view idol training and education? And should the public be more understanding when young idols make these kinds of slip-ups, or do they have a responsibility to be more clear given their influence? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your take on this one. And now, shifting from Asa's misunderstood comment to something far more serious, we need to talk about the controversy surrounding ENHYPEN Sunghoon, a situation that has stirred major debates online and once again shows how fast things can spiral in the world of K-pop. So here's what happened. Sunghoon was trying to engage with international fans in English. A sweet gesture, right? Many idols do this to connect more with their global fandom, especially considering how huge ENHYPEN's international following is. But during this interaction, Sunghoon made a spelling error that ended up being incredibly offensive. Instead of writing "good job," he accidentally typed "good." Now, for anyone unfamiliar, Jeep is a racial slur against Japanese people, particularly associated with wartime propaganda and xenophobia. It's not a harmless typo, it's a loaded word with a painful history. But here's the context. In Korean, the phrase "good job" is often pronounced more like "good jab," and because of the way Korean blurs the B and P sounds, it's very possible that Sunghoon just didn't know the weight that the misspelling carried. After realizing the mistake, Sunghoon corrected himself quickly. Jungwon, ENHYPEN's leader, even stepped in to explain that Sunghoon isn't fluent in English and made a phonetic error. But the damage had already been done. Japanese fans and many international netizens were deeply offended, not only because of the original post, but because of what followed. What really intensified the backlash were clips circulating online showing Sunghoon allegedly repeating the word GPP and laughing after saying "good GP." Suddenly, this wasn't just seen as a typo. Some people began interpreting it as a joke, or at least something that wasn't taken seriously by Sunghoon or the group in that moment. And while Korean fans, including some netizens, tried to defend him by saying it's a language barrier issue or accusing the Japanese public of being overly sensitive, international fans, especially Japanese engines, didn't take it lightly. For many of them, it wasn't just about the mistake. It was about how it was handled afterward. There was growing anger that Sunghoon didn't apologize properly. His first public message came off more like a defense than a real apology. He thanked fans who supported him, but didn't clearly acknowledge the people hurt by the comment. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And while fans debated whether the hate was too extreme, many also agreed that a clear and sincere apology was necessary, especially since the term was now turning into a meme inside certain parts of the fandom, which is a huge red flag. The situation reached its peak when people started pointing out that even the group's Japanese member laughed during the moment, which added to the confusion. Was it a misunderstanding? An inside joke? Or something worse? Fans started demanding accountability, not just from Sunghoon, but from the entire team behind the group. Finally, after several days of silence and growing backlash, Sunghoon posted an apology on Weverse on July 7th, 2025. While the apology has yet to satisfy everyone, here's the real conversation I want to have with you. How much of this is a genuine mistake, and how much of it points to a bigger issue around cultural sensitivity, especially when K-pop groups go global? Should we expect idols to know the weight of every word in a language they're still learning? Or is it fair to hold them accountable when something this serious happens, even if it wasn't intentional? Personally, I think the initial mistake was understandable, but the way it was handled afterward is what made it worse. The lack of a direct, heartfelt apology right away allowed the situation to fester. And when you're part of a group as big as ENHYPEN, silence speaks louder than words. It's not just about protecting image, it's about protecting trust with fans. Especially when those fans come from so many different countries, cultures, and backgrounds. I'm also really uncomfortable with how some netizens turned the issue into a debate over nationalism. When people start bringing in war history or saying things like, the Japanese are too sensitive, or they're from a war criminal country, that's crossing a line. This isn't about politics, it's about respecting people as human beings. So what do you think? Was Sunghoon's apology enough? Do you believe it was truly just a language barrier mistake? Or do you think the group needs to address this more seriously? And how should fandoms respond when problematic words start turning into memes? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your perspectives on this one. And that wraps up today's On Young Buzz. From Asa's misunderstood joke to the serious controversy surrounding Sunghoon, it's clear that words, even unintentional ones, can have a huge impact in the world of K-pop. Whether it's about cultural sensitivity, public image, or simply learning how to communicate better, these stories remind us just how complex being an idol really is. But now, I want to hear from you. What's your take on everything we've talked about? Drop your thoughts, feelings, or even respectful debates in the comments. I'll be checking them out. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep the buzz going.